Disclaimer, I do not dislike CinemaSins, and that is not a lie. For my next Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, I'm going to be seeing the video on the bad guys too. And while I am counting this video as one I want to do, I also want to give a thanks to Camila Caranajo for suggesting it. Enjoy.
Comcast.
Doesn't sin logos for their length, but still makes a logo sin.
The blatant shark tail erasure in this DreamWorks legacy logo bullshit has been noted.
So, are you sinning something you like here?
In case you confused it with Cairo, the southernmost city in Illinois.
But the location gag only works if the place you confuse it with isn't actually a real place, and Cairo, Illinois actually exists.
Mr. Piranha will now swim so fast he creates a vortex, and Mr. Snake will cut glass with his teeth. And did we miss the part where all these animals also got their superpowers by being bitten by a radioactive screenwriter?
Arbitrary comic book superhero reference.
Spiders don't wear braces. Being in a death-defying car chase without wearing your seatbelt. Very unsafe, and more importantly, you could get a ticket.
Are you sinning the bad guys for doing something bad just like you did in this sin in your video on the first movie?
Stop sitting in booths like this. Do you think I want the bottom of your nasty shoes up towards the surface I eat on? Sitting like this in a booth doesn't make you cool. It makes you an asshole. Speaking of which, don't even get me started on parents who change diapers on these things.
And I don't know how I missed that sin when I did the first movie, but since Captain Vader responded to it, I figured I'd bring it up here.
I don't know how cranes work, and I sure as shit don't know how hacking works. But I am still sinning Tarantula remotely hacking a crane because my sinning sense is going off.
But Miss Tarantula was already shown hacking things in the first movie, so you should have already expected her to do hacking in this movie too.
This crew just killed at least 3 dozen officers of the law, and those Egyptians had families, you bastards.
Again, you just sinned the bad guys for doing something bad.
Bad guys went good.
Using a fourth wall break to tell us the primary weakness of your film.
But Mr. Wolf breaking the fourth wall is something to be expected here, since he did that at the beginning and at the end of the first film.
Yeah, we had a pretty good run as bad guys.
Using a fourth wall break to narrate a clunky previously on the bad guys.
And since this film came out 3 years after the first one, it'd be good to have this recap for those who don't remember the first one very well.
Thinking it's your crime past that's keeping you from getting hired when it's actually making mastermind 2 words on your resume.
Firstly, their crime pasts are what are keeping the bad guys from getting jobs, and secondly, Jeremy points out things on the screen cliche.
I got a job! This is fantastic, man!
Premature gainful employment aberration.
And the reason why is because Craig previously told Mr. Wolf that he had a job that he could give him and would give him a call, and then Mr. Wolf finds out he was lying when he opens the door again and sees him shredding his resume.
In 3 weeks, my next-gen Moon X rocket will blast off and deploy the Power Cell X3.
Convenient TV Moon exposition is convenient.
Yeah, so?
You haven't heard? It's all over the news.
And I shall immediately find a channel that proves me correct.
See the previous sin.
Having one of the artifacts that was stolen be Poe's Sword of Destiny, and confirming that both Kung Fu Panda and The Witcher share this universe, and then not exploring that any further in detail and slowly.
And could that be because this is just supposed to be an Easter egg?
They're all made from a rare metal called MacGuffinite.
Apparently the bad guys went to the Avatar school of obtaining names for rare metal things.
Actually, there were movies that featured fictional metals before Avatar, such as the Core and the Lord of the Rings movies, so...
MacGuffin what now?
Sounds kind of made up.
So does the word gold if you didn't know it was real.
Here's the thing, and this is going to be a shocker. Gold, like all words, is actually a made-up word.
Firstly, all words come from somewhere, and secondly, gold isn't a made-up word, and this here can tell you its origins.
Translated into English, the word MacGuffinite means a small MacGuffin.
Movie continues to beat us over the head with how clever they think they are.
But MacGuffinite's name is a play on the term MacGuffin.
You talk pretty tough for a mango with teeth.
What? Is that what I look like?
No, you look like a fish that was sewn onto an alien child's neck and then dressed like Steve Urkel. But if we're doing competing animals don't ever look like this sins, we will be here all day, so let's move on.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Being 4 months late to the chicken jockey party.
Arbitrary movie reference.
A lot has happened in the last 2 minutes, so let me catch you up. The bad guys came here.
So Jeremy spends about 30 seconds summarizing what happens between the bad guys arriving at the stadium and them being chased. And since he doesn't really explain why it's wrong and sends the film for being unrealistic, I'll spare you guys those seconds and ding the ding.
That was close.
Being so scared you lose an entire dimension.
Like Captain Vader said in his Kung Fu Panda videos, this is an intentional artistic choice.
You tell me.
No, you tell him better.
Skip.
Fish paste. It's not what it looks like.
It looks like you're using a payphone in the year of our Lord 2025.
Firstly, pointing something out in the movie. Secondly, ending your sentence with a comma instead of a period here.
Also, are we supposed to believe she built that switchy bookcase thing herself? No, of course not. She obviously hired contractors and then had them killed. Same with Batman with the Batcave. If you ask me, he doesn't get nearly enough heat for all those murders.
Actually, it's more likely Diane built it herself, considering that she had a secret hideout in her house in the first movie and likely also built that herself.
Big crime nerd.
Netflix's summary of their target audience somehow makes it into the script.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
If Crimson Paw took off her mask while still in the process of stealing something, then she is not the Crimson Paw I thought I knew. And I don't even know what's real in this movie anymore.
But are you forgetting that this is footage from the first film of when Diane was reflecting on her criminal life and decided to turn over a new leaf?
Well. Hello, Diane.
Scene doesn't contain an animal version of Miggs.
Arbitrary country artist reference.
Pardon, in the middle of pickleball season.
Pickleball.
Sinning pickleball, a really fun game.
I promise to play you respectfully.
Mr. Shark passing as these different humans is the most suspension of disbelief a movie has asked us to do since everyone in Hawaii thought a blue alien was a dog.
Even more so than a rat cooking delicious food, or a house flying by being tied to a bunch of balloons, or a bunny becoming a cop, or...
Could he be a little more subtle?
Forgetting you're in a DreamWorks movie.
But this is reminding us that Mr. Shark tends to go over the top when doing his acting, so what does that have to do with this being a DreamWorks film? Also, you forgot to capitalize the W in DreamWorks here.
I almost make pee-pee accident.
Remembering you're in a DreamWorks movie.
Not capitalizing the W in DreamWorks here, just like in the previous sin.
MacGuffinite is the atomic inverse of gold.
It will cause gold electrons to decouple and attract with spectacular force. It's a gold magnet.
There's so much technical bullshit plot gibberish in this exchange that I can't just sin it once. I gotta do it twice.
But it's important to the plot because Marmalade explaining MacGuffinite to Diane is supposed to give us a hint as to what the bad girls are up to.
It's literally tic-tac-toe.
It's literally not.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
You had a visitor?
I didn't get her name, but apparently we have a friend in common. Or should I say, 5?
Or should you say nothing? Because by telling Diane, you're jeopardizing both yours and Kitty's plans.
True, but this is an example of Marmalade being overconfident, which is one of the biggest flaws villains have when they're forming their plans.
Found ya.
Triangulating someone's current exact location using 3 different pictures from the past.
Jeremy points out things on the screen cliche.
There we go.
Ooh.
Oh man, did I ever tell you about my first heist?
Dongle teases.
Yeah. So? Let's go.
That's my boy.
Uh-oh.
Did you really think it was gonna be that easy?
There are more Diabolus Ex Machinas in this movie than in the entirety of the Exorcist franchise.
It's almost like that's the point in order to create conflict and tension for this movie's story or something.
You're taking it to space?
Going to space is the new jump the shark for movie franchises, and this one accomplished it in just 2 films. Impressive.
But I think that's just how you feel about this, so I'll give my award to this sin.
The upload is paired to the magnet.
Which is a sentence that makes perfect sense and is a completely normal and not an over-engineered villain's plan cliche at all.
Yeah, that's not a cliche, because I don't remember seeing this in another movie.
You're not governor anymore.
You might want to check your phone. Crimson Ball.
I think we're supposed to feel bad for Diane here, but this Fox News ain't fake news. She really does have a shady past that she lied about, but yay for crooked politicians, I guess.
You're right that this isn't fake news, but Diane getting exposed as the Crimson Paw here isn't supposed to be an example of karma. She chose to end her life of crime and turn over a new leaf, which made her both a better person and a symbol of redemption and being good. And that's why we're supposed to feel bad for her here.
How?
Because the plot needed it. Why else would there be secret footage of you unmasking that will have no lasting consequences somehow?
Firstly, the main reason this is here is to create more tension and conflict for the movie's story. Secondly, similar to the Kung Fu Panda 2 video, you put a period instead of a question mark after somehow here.
A viral video has revealed that the notorious thief known as the Crimson Paw was none other than Governor Diane Foxington.
News position that reveals something that was already revealed in the previous scene.
It's almost like this is the movie showing us that the video of Diane as the Crimson Paw is being shown worldwide or something.
While police search for the rogue politician, they have wasted no time in ordering the speedy release of sweet, adorable Professor Marmalade.
You can tell this is a fictional world because not only does the justice system own up to putting the wrong man behind bars, they actually end up releasing him as soon as they know he's innocent.
But this is a world that has talking animals in it, so we already knew that this world is fictional.
The chief is unlocking the gold manacles that Kitty placed on them, even though she shouldn't have the keys for them.
I have no problem with your point here, but I do have to sue you for referring to Luggins as the police chief because she's no longer that. As of this movie, she's now the police commissioner, which is something she keeps having to remind the bad guys of throughout the movie.
That's fair. I get it. We're all over the place.
Screenwriters who put their own confessions into the script.
Cherie says something random cliche.
Pretending a helicopter could keep up with a spacecraft launch.
Seriously? You just admitted not too long ago that this is a fictional world, so you know this part of the film is being unrealistic on purpose.
Remember, when you come back, you're under arrest!
Under arrest for what? Being framed?
Yes, they were framed, but they still assaulted and hit her earlier, fled the scene of a crime, and reluctantly aided in a heist after claiming to be good. And all of that is reasonable enough for her to want to arrest them.
Running straight up the outside of a projectile, traveling at over 3,000 miles per hour, and then jumping 100 feet to the now separated shuttle using ice chips as stepping platforms. With the air resistance in the elevation, I'm starting to think this movie might not have a scientific advisor on staff.
And it doesn't, because like I said before, it's purposefully not being realistic here, and you know that because you said this world is fictional.
Hey, frost is forming on them because of the altitude. That's good. But they all should be asphyxiating by now, except maybe piranha and shark. They've been out of the water so long that I've given up trying to figure out how their lungs work.
As you should, since they both already have tons of unrealistic features such as having legs, talking, breathing air, and...
I think they're talking.
My reaction after accidentally using a new search term on my special alone time website somehow makes it into the script.
Who cares?
Shouldn't we get some special training for this?
Well, it takes about 10 years to become an astronaut, but you're a piranha and a snake in a spacesuit, so you should be fine.
But it was Mr. Shark who asked that question, not Mr. Snake or Mr. Piranha, so you're addressing the wrong characters there. Also, Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Giving the victims of your crimes a heads up from space.
Pointing things out on the screen.
What's going on? Why am I flying?
Marmalade knew their plan, so it makes no sense that he would get into his gold-plated automobile. Honestly, it makes no sense that he has a gold-plated automobile. What's he planning on doing, running for president?
Well, the mid-credit scene of the film reveals why Marmalade got into his gold limo and what his plan was. The limo turns out to actually be a rocket, and his plan was to end up in space in order to return to his home planet before getting his revenge. And this ties into the fact that he isn't truly a guinea pig, but rather an alien. And this was something from the original books by Aaron Blabey.
This is a power move.
Stealing the Holdo maneuver when it's the only cool part about the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Arbitrary movie reference.
What did I tell you about messing with my friends?
That you'd wander around for about 15 minutes and appear at the last second to Deus Vox Machina at the exact moment they needed you? Am I close?
Nope, because the movie previously showed Diane just barely sneaking onto the rocket right after she got tranquilized by the bad girls. So this isn't a solution that came from nowhere without having been set up already.
We're gonna land this thing, or we're gonna die trying!
Okay, movie, take your sin off. That was one unfunny jump cut. But also, movie doesn't have the gonads to follow through on this amazing ending.
So then what was the point of that sin removal?
You're gonna be secret agents.
Well, unless this movie tanked, we're absolutely getting a third one. Wait, it made less than the first one? Haha, I guess hope is stronger than fear.
Sorry to burst your bubble, Jer, but that doesn't matter in this case because people at DreamWorks have been discussing a third movie. And even though its status is currently unknown since it's been discussed at DreamWorks, my point stands. And here's the end result, everybody. The sin total was 195 and the sentence will be sucked into space. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.